Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our returning listeners, and welcome if this is your first time listening. We're so happy to have you all with us today.
Yes, thank you for joining us for the 15th episode of the Lion Pridecast, a podcast created by the Lansing Unified School District 469, located in Lansing, Kansas.
The purpose of this podcast is to inform our Lansing stakeholders, being our community members, students, and staff, about all things education. We are your hosts. I am Miles Azzeh, Director of Teaching and Learning in Lansing USD469.
And I am Sharon Burns, the Director of Communications and Marketing. So today we have chosen this episode's topic based on feedback from our strategic planning meeting. As many of our community members know, we've been working on this school year, and we are delving into a topic that some of our community and families want to know more about, and that is the GVC, or the Guaranteed Viable Curriculum. And this is your kind of realm.
My wheelhouse, I guess.
Your wheelhouse, yes. So why don't you kick us off by telling us just what exactly a GVC, or Guaranteed Viable Curriculum, is?
Very well, I will. Before I jump into it, I do want to say, especially being as a person who's not from this community, I don't live here in Lansing, I have to give a shout out to all of our community members who came out at both of our strategic planning events. We had an episode with Bart Schwartz, and we talked about this. I just think it was amazing how everybody turned out. So many people turned out, and honestly, not only the feedback that day, but the feedback afterwards and the survey that they answered, it makes me feel really good that we're about to get this strategic plan in place, and so many people have weighed in on it.
I agree.
And reflected on it.
Yes, getting that input has been invaluable for us, and the district as a whole, knowing what's important to the community, and it's what is going to drive our district into the future and bring us to the next level. So I'm thrilled. It was wonderful working on it. It's been a fantastic learning experience, and yes, so something that I think that our whole community can be proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it really makes you, you've heard that saying about, like, it takes a village. I think it takes a village to do something. Sometimes we think that it's supposed to be a couple people, or maybe one person thinks that they're in charge of it, but it's not. It's not. It can't be that way. It's it's the opposite. That's where we have to let people weigh in, because we all have different perspectives and unique views on it. So back to what you're saying. I apologize.
No, that's great. I'm glad you brought that up. So Guaranteed Viable Curriculum, talk about it. What is it? Explain it to those who don't know what it is. You got it. More information.
You got it. So Guaranteed and Viable Curriculum, it's Robert Marzano, educational theorist, came up with this, but it really, you don't need to know too much about education or to be a practitioner to understand it. Guaranteed and Viable Curriculum, and when we say curriculum, we're talking about the standards, the things that the state says that people need to know, students need to know in Kansas, or we've heard like Common Core standards. We have our own Kansas career readiness standards, and they're very much the same. But what a guaranteed and viable curriculum is, in a nutshell, is teachers have to sit down and decide what are the priority standards and skills that every kid will get in every class. So it doesn't matter who their teacher is. It doesn't matter if they move. Here in Lansing, it doesn't happen so much like it does in large districts where you have 4 or 5 high schools, and sometimes a kid might move from one neighborhood to another and they have to change high schools.
Right.
You can't go into an English or a math class and be learning something you learned a month ago, or vice versa. Like, what are you guys doing right now? Oh, well, it's this thing. It's like, I've never heard of that in my life. So the whole point of a guaranteed and viable curriculum is the idea that every kid gets what they deserve and an opportunity to learn. That's the guaranteed. And then the viable, I think sometimes we forget about this. There are a lot of things kids need to learn.
Right.
But some, pound for pound, are more important than others. And so the viable part is making a decision about which standards are what we call priority standards, and making sure a kid has a chance to actually viably learn those from August to May. Gotcha. So that's what the Guaranteed and Viable Curriculum is, and I am so proud because our district's really been engaging in this in the entire year and a half that I've been here.
Yes, and so we have to thank you because you've really pushed hard on this, and it's going to make us better as a district, and our students are benefiting from it, so thank you. So we had Bart Schwartz, the Executive Director of Greenbush, on as a guest about a month ago. I hope you listened to that. If you're a listener.
Listen to it. It was a great episode.
Yeah, it was. Bart is amazing, one of my favorite people on the planet.
I think somebody sang in that episode, too.
No, I don't remember that.
There was a Simon and Garfunkel joke. Somebody sang.
I do remember Garfunkel. Okay, go back and listen to that if you don't know what we're talking about. But I know you've been a part of the Greenbush Weekly CIA, or the Curriculum Instruction Assessment meetings. Is that correct?
Close. Curriculum Instruction and assessment.
Oh, and sorry. Okay, I'm not part of those meetings because I'm communications, not and I'm okay with that.
We can tell.
That's okay. That's all right. But on those, your work with our GVC has been used as an example of success, and other district leaders across the state of Kansas, have asked for more information and guidance from you on what to do. And what we are doing here in Lansing. So our little old town of Lansing, Kansas is being used as an example for a good thing across the state of Kansas because of you. So go ahead and talk about that because I think this is amazing.
Yeah, and that was not at all planned. It just kind of fell into my lap. One day we were at the CI meeting and I think it actually was, I want to say it was back in like December or January. It was like, what are you most proud of? What have you been up to? What have you been working on? And I'm just so proud of our staff with this GVC to sit down, to look at their curriculum standards and then to lay out like what they're teaching from August to May and how they're assessing it. So I brought that up. There was a little bit of silence. It's natural when you've got 60, 70 people on a Zoom. You just sit there. So finally, me, I was like, well, I'm proud of what our teachers are up to here in Lansing. And so I brought it up and I feel really bad. So it's an hour meeting. This was about 12 minutes in. And it ended up taking up like 35, 40 minutes.
Why is this not surprising? You took over a meeting.
I did not. No, I answered questions. I did not.
Okay.
No. Okay, that was rude.
But
I took over that meeting, but I wasn't trying to take over the meeting. It just fell in my lap. But it was great because it opened my eyes. I've read all these books. I'm a nerd. I like to listen to podcasts. I like to read. I like to anything about education. And I don't think I recognize or realize just how the information when it comes to a GVC and a guaranteed viable curriculum, just how inaccessible that is sometimes because it's the core foundation. I brought up my boy, Mike Schmoker, if you're listening. Send me an autographed copy of both.
Mike Schmoker.
Hashtag Mike Schmoker. But like his whole thing, if you remember, for our 17 listeners, wait, you think we're in the 20s yet?
Like we are at least.
Has your mom
19.
told anybody?
She told her best friend Sandy. So Sandy Smith, I
Thank
hope
you,
you're
Sandy.
listening.
What about Mrs.
Van and Steele? I told you.
Oh, Mrs. Van Steele.
Fan like
and
a
Steele.
fan. Okay, keep going. Okay.
No. Let's talk more about her. She was mean.
Yes.
And she probably didn't have a guaranteed viable curriculum.
It's true.
She was too busy being mean. That was her career. I guarantee that I will be mean to everyone. Well said.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. So what I didn't realize, though, was all of these people who I'm going to level with you, they can run circles around me. They are fantastic. Were reaching out to me about, hey, can you tell us more about this guaranteed viable curriculum? How did you lead this curriculum work? And I'm not going to lie, I'm lucky because my instructional coaches, my principals, my staff, my teachers, they bought into it. There's always going to be resistance when there's something new, but it's not even really new. It's just what we teach. It's laying it out, and then it really helps with future teachers coming into the classrooms.
Right. Yeah, and we heard that when we talked. We've talked to our first-year teachers here in the district just to kind of get feedback. We're going to finish. We talked to a few before Christmas, and we're going to finish before the end of the year just getting their feedback. And that was one of the things that got brought up is that when they come into a classroom, it's nice to know what is being taught so that you're not just coming in willy-nilly like, what am I doing? You've got that written out, lined out for you. So, yeah, it's really important. It's really, really important.
Yeah, I'm happy to provide that. We've even talked about that on our recruitment trips.
Yes.
So you're not going to
have.
Actually, I'm proud of teachers, the students, those future teachers, and we've hired a couple of them. Can't wait to have you aboard.
Hi, Gabby.
There's been, they ask good questions, and some of their questions are like, what's the curriculum resource, or what's the curriculum? How do I know what I'm supposed to teach?
And something else that some of our listeners may not know, this week has been very busy for Miles and I. We've been interviewing, we haven't been interviewing, but we've been giving tours to our superintendent candidates. So by the time this airs, we're hoping that new person will be announced. But one of the things that has come up every single time is GVC. Every time.
Yep.
The importance of it, most of them have them in their district, some form of them, or they really see the value in it and are excited that we have that going and see the value in you as our Director of Teaching and Learning and that you've pushed this. So well done, Miles.
Well, okay, hold on a second.
Props
Take it
to
easy.
Miles.
Well, the only reason they've seen it is because
it.
it's on the website, and it's on the website because of you. So thank you for putting it on there.
Here we are patting each other
But
back.
but I will say it has been I will tell you this. We don't know right now who the next superintendent's going to be.
Yeah.
But I will tell you all 5 of them have recognized, I'm just going to actually send an email to staff about this with this podcast, that they've recognized that this work is important. And I'm not going to lie to you.
It's come up every single day.
And they're proud that we're doing it. And even a couple of them are like, wow, I haven't had a chance to engage in this, so I'm glad you guys are.
Right.
And that makes me feel good because we're doing, and we see that a lot here in Lansing. We're doing some really good work. There's a reason that we get accolades and stuff. So that was, it has been really beneficial and happy. Yeah. And it feels rewarding, not just for me, but honestly, I mean, you know me, Sharon, I don't do this for myself or accolades. I don't care anything about that. I care about my staff. I care about, number one, the students.
It's a buy-in commitment.
So I am really happy that we were doing it so that they can get that recognition.
Yes, good job. Good job. Okay, so we've talked about what a GBC is and how we and other districts value it. But can you talk now about why and specifically how it correlates with test scores?
Oh, yeah, the dreaded test scores, the assessments, and every kid. Yeah. Can you do that one more time? That was even better than the first time.
Better than my singing.
Have you sung before?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Keep going. Okay.
Bard episode. So, yes, I'm. So, let's talk about test scores. Test scores are so funny to me because kids freak out about test scores and parents freak out about test scores. And test scores are really important. Don't get me wrong. But they're not the end all be all. But in our educational system, it's the reason that we do a guaranteed and viable curriculum is to make sure that we are teaching all of those state standards so that kids are prepared for all assessments they have to take. Some of those assessments are our universal screener that we give here. Parents listening to this, teachers listening to this know that that's our fast bridge that we give EC through 12th, which, by the way, the fast bridge is purely built on state standards. So if a kid does well on the fast bridge, which is our universal screener, that's how we catch them. If they're doing well on that, they're going to do inevitably well on a state assessment.
Can you talk about why we use FastBridge?
Yeah, so thank you very much. So being a universal screener, and this all happened about 5 years ago when we started our KISA accreditation cycle, which we'll give some information on that in a little bit. It's a 5-year cycle. We didn't have a universal screener, which meant that it was up to teachers on their own whether or not a kid was doing well with state standards. Are they reading them as well as they should? Are they doing math? Do they have the math sense, number sense, fluency, whatever it may be? It was up to the teacher to decide. And then there was something at the end of the year called a summative assessment, which was the state assessment. And honestly, cross your fingers and hope for the best. Instead, we have enacted something called the FastBridge assessment, which we give 3 times a year, fall, winter, and spring. And the goal for that FastBridge assessment is simple. We are trying to make sure that our students are able to, with the universal screener, hit those standards and do well of where they should be on grade level. If not, we put them in intervention. That's our MTSS that we've talked about. And we have wonderful interventionists out there. Or we put them in some sort of an enrichment. Or if they're just on a grade level and doing fine, we just kind of push them more honestly toward the enrichment. And the FastBridge is important because this was right before I came, a couple of years before. The district decided, the board decided that the FastBridge was our assessment that we were going to focus on. Kansas actually recommended it. So
kudos to the board for also following along that
and
the FastBridge.
Yep, and because of that, we have been really focusing on that, and we've been, let's brag, doing very well on the FastBridge assessment, which I don't know if we're going to talk about that now. We're going to talk about that later about how well we're doing. What are your thoughts?
No, I think you should go ahead. Yeah,
well,
talk about it.
just recently with the accreditation work that we've done.
Go into that.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought it up because a lot of our listeners may not know the great news that we've recently been re-accredited from the state.
Yes, we got re-accredited.
Is a huge deal. The amount of work that our staff has put in to get this done, and you specifically, Miles, it's really, there's a group of people, but I know you led it. So props, and I think our listeners and our community needs to know that yes, we've been reaccredited. So could you speak a little bit more about that process and how the GBC played a role in that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So the DLT, the district leadership team, which is made up of teachers and interventionists and principals across the district, there's about 19, 20 of us, got together year after year and poured over that data. We dove into it. We looked at every single strand of that FastBridge and how can we improve. And it was amazing to see that, especially our MTSS team, our multi-tier system of supports. That's an intervention stuff we talked about. And it was amazing because what you want out of a system, and this is what our OVT chair said, the person that was in charge of it, her name is Beth Clavinidine. Yeah.
You put another syllable in there.
I think I did. Sorry. You're bad. How do you know? You know her name better than I do.
Yeah, I know.
She used to work for Taz, and now she has a job that is essentially Taz, and Taz's like consultant, if you will, for the state about all things education, brilliant people, and now she's actually that for like at a national level. So thank you, Beth, for all the work that you've done. And she really, really focused on, because she was right to, the state was directing her to, like, how are kids doing on the FastBridge, and how are they doing when it comes to progress monitoring and improving? Because if you fall beneath a certain level on the FastBridge, what we do is we put you in intervention. And what we do then is we give you targeted support with specific protocols and specific resources, and then we progress monitor to see if you're good enough to move out of there back into tier 2 and tier 3. And that's why I'm so proud of our interventionists for what they can do with that. And just to talk about our system, and I'm sorry, I'm going to brag again about our system. But you talked earlier about the GVC and people asking. I've got people asking me how we have our FastBridge scores, because our high school has multiple grade levels that kids are below or above 80 and even 90%. Like 90% of them are proficient in ELA or reading or math.
Yeah.
That doesn't normally happen. And the reason it's happening is we're actually using the FastBridge for what it's meant to be, a progress monitoring and a formative assessment to see how kids are doing and to intervene at the right time. So I'm really proud of them. And because of that, specifically because of that, and all the other things we're doing, we were able to get reaccredited. So congratulations, families. Your house values are still valued the same or more.
Yeah, Lansing, go Lansing.
If we lost accreditation, we did.
And we do need to give props to. We had a large number. How many? Was it 18 that spoke in the February board meeting? Okay. So we had 18 staff members who worked really hard on this. And if you haven't had a chance, you can go to the website, watch the recap of the board meeting in February. We had a lot of staff that took time out of their day, and it was a late night. That was one of the longer board meetings since I've been here. And they presented to the Board of Education on these results, on this FastBridge assessment presentation. If you haven't listened to it, you can go back in and watch it. And props to them, props to you, Miles. Great job.
Yeah, I'm proud of them. And that was February, I believe, 13th, I want to say it was.
Was that Monday?
Yeah, Monday, February 13th. And I think it's important to remember teachers, their contract says that they're supposed to work, 7:30 to 3 o'clock, whatever it may be. And they were here that night, I would say, pushing 10 o'clock, 9:30 probably, and presenting at that
and
time.
all the work that went into it before. to get it ready. And it was,
our interventionists are amazing, our DLT.
I think that everybody, we got kind of it was a standing ovation, but the room clapped, and there were a lot of people there that night, and everybody appreciated it. I heard nothing but good things for the most part.
And I'm going to ask you, Sharon, as a parent, and I know it's hard because you love this district, and you work in the district, but there has to be something. I mean, I'm sure that you're able for a moment to have like a step back and look at what is, what your tax dollars are going towards, or what the people, the practitioners, the people instructing your children are doing. What did you feel that night? More than just I'm proud of them, but like what were you thinking about, like the steps that they took and the work that they did?
I'm proud. It's not just as a yes, I am a community member and a parent, but as a staff member too, and just the people that we have here, they give their heart and soul to everything that they do. And it does help my property values as well. I'm not gonna lie, but really it's just more about, honestly, it's more as a staff member and just being proud of the work that we do, and then being able to to get the benefit as a parent as well. It makes my heart smile. It really does. I'm just proud to live in Lansing. I love this district, that. And
I know.
I was really proud of the people that got up there and just,
and I'm proud of them too, not only for getting up there that night, which was requested, something that we haven't done before, and they showed up and they were like, no problem, we'll show you all the numbers.
Yeah, and they were happy to be there.
But before that, the work that they did to dig into those numbers, actually delving into it, instead of just simply thinking about it from like a snapshot point of view. Instead, they were like, let's look at this and let's think about our students. What can we do? What do we know about these kids to provide the information, instead of simply picking it apart or looking at it in a negative way? Instead, it was, let's delve deep into it and think about it in a way of solutions, in a way to fix and improve. And that's really what the FastBridge and any of our assessments are about. And that's really what our teachers here in this district. And I mean, like sometimes I almost get moved to tears with how amazing they are. Every day they're here to make kids better than they were the day before.
Right.
And so I'm so proud of them, and they know this data like the back of their hands, and they work with ION every single day.
Right. Did you talk about what ION is?
You know what? I've talked to ION before, but I can just take it really quick. It's our data warehouse.
Yes, yeah.
And ION allows us to have one click of a button to have all of the data for all of our students at any time. We can see their last 5 FastBridge windows, our assessments. We can see their last 3 or 4 years of state assessment. It just gives you a chance as a teacher, as an educator, to something called triangulate the data.
Right.
And you can look at it from different angles. So it's wonderful that we have ION and that we have the support from the board and the support from teachers to delve in and use that on my interventionists and my DLT and MTSS team. Sorry, I talk so much. I love this stuff. I'm sorry.
No, I think it's great. Yeah, and I do. I just want our teachers to know how much they are appreciated, and regardless of any outside organizations that are coming in and trying to pick us apart or anything like that, we do good work here, and they do good work, and I'm proud to be here. I know you're proud to work here. It's everybody, we're a team, and I think that's a good way to end it. I think it's an excellent way.
Can you say that part again? We're a team?
Yeah, we're a team. We're a family.
We're a family here at Lansing.
We are a family here in Lansing.
And sometimes when we have to make tough decisions or do some things, that's fine, but we keep it within the family.
Yes.
That's that Italian in me right there, I guess. But yeah, we keep it in the family.
Keep it in the family,
and I like that line, and I'm so proud of our teachers, and I'm so proud of our administrators and our leaders, and thank you to you, because you are in the process. By the time that people will listen to this, they'll probably have seen it. You're in the process of writing a splendid report about our reaccreditation and how it went.
Oh, yes. We are going to be doing an article for that. So, yes. And thank you for working with me. Yeah, so that's going to be something I want everybody to watch out for. And probably, maybe by the time this gets posted, that'll be almost done. So, yes, watch for that. And I think that's kudos to our Lansing family. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. So
I think that's a good way to end it.
You think so?
Yeah. Do you want to do something fun?
Let's do something fun. What do you have in mind?
I think we should ask each other a question.
Okay.
A random question.
Okay, you gonna go first? Or am I gonna go first?
I will go first.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. What is the favorite thing that has happened to you so far since you've taken this job in Lansing USD469? What's your best memory so far?
Oh my gosh. That is a tough question. My favorite memory since I've come here. I was grabbing
I just had to take candy away from him. Go ahead.
I think my favorite memory is that Sharon acts like my mom most of the time. And just smacked that out of my hand. Oh man, that was a tough question.
Favorite memory.
Yeah, thanks. You saying it slower doesn't really help at all with helping my...
I'm going to put the Jeopardy music on again. Just like our trivia. It's coming.
It is. Yes. It's starting to come up.
Come on, you can do this. Come on, you got to have a favorite memory.
Oh, the problem is I have lots of memories. Lots of great memories.
What's one that stands out?
Okay, I'll say what it is.
Okay.
And I really appreciate this. I have a lot of memories, but I thought it was really, really nice of the board to recognize you and I that one night when we were, for the work that we did with the strategic plan.
Okay, yeah.
And then
it
wasn't even the recognition. You know me, I don't care about the recognition.
Pat yourself on the back.
Oh my gosh, Sharon. I was saying that we poured hours into making that happen.
That was very,
Sharon, you're so fake right now. Yeah, I agree.
No, I really do. I don't, you know how I am. I don't normally like to be like, center of attention. But that was a good night. It was a surprise.
Fun fact.
Okay.
Just because you're rude, I'm going to tell you. Fun fact, and thank you, specific board member. I recommended that you get the recognition that night.
Well, guess what? You got it too.
I didn't mean for it to happen, so
but
just showed.
But it did happen.
Wow. Okay.
We're the dynamic duo.
Yeah, we are the dynamic duo. But no, I think that, you know what, I'm going to say it's more than just the recognition. I appreciate the recognition. I think, honestly, my favorite memory, and I'm going to lean on something that one of our board members said, which is the strategic plan is going to be like a legacy.
Yes.
It's going to be like our legacy. And I'm proud to be a part of it. I've been in a couple of districts that have done this, but I didn't have a seat at the table.
Right.
And I feel like you and I have a seat at the table.
Yeah. And this is the first time I've been a part of one. And I really honestly, because I think that was the night that when we were leading into the first meeting, you'd gotten into the car accident. And I was just going to be, was that the night? Was that like when I kind of stepped in? No? I feel like it was the board meeting, the work session.
About a year ago?
Yeah.
A year and a half ago? Oh, I thought we were talking about strategic plan. Oh, that is right.
No, yeah.
I try to block out my car accident. Thanks for bringing it up. I was in a horrific car accident.
Miles was going to be a very, anyway, okay. But Miles was going to be a big part of that. And I had never been a part of the strategic plan. And I was there kind of just to hear and listen and see where I could offer support. And Miles was unable to come that night, and I had to step in. And
somebody tried to take me out.
I was not a part of the car accident. But no, it was...
Sharon wanted all the limelight. She's like, I'll take over.
No, it's been, obviously I was upset that Miles wasn't able to be there that night, but I have to step in and to play a bigger part. And then when he did come back, we've kind of been we've been a good team working on it. And I've learned a lot, and I have loved getting the community feedback. We talked about it earlier. This has been amazing. And it is going to be something that's going to be here for a long time, and it's going to take our district to the next level. So yeah, I think that's great. I think that was a great memory. I love it.
Yeah, you seem like you were kind of waffling at the beginning of that, whether or not you liked it.
I love it.
All right.
I love it.
All right, well, how about this one then? If I remember correctly, Lansing is not, it's been your home for a while, but you're not from Lansing, correct?
No.
Okay, so what is your favorite memory of Lansing so far? And this could be something with your kids, it could be something with you, whatever it may be, with your family, since you've moved here.
Ooh, this is hard.
I know.
So if it's just Lansing, when I don't actually live in the city of Lansing, although I'm in the school district. I'm actually in Leavenworth County.
I don't know what you're doing right now. I asked you what's your favorite memory of Lansing.
Okay. You know what? It's not even gonna be living here. I'm gonna talk about a funny memory I have working in Lansing, kind of like yours. It has to do with a certain board meeting, and I think I talked about this today at least once. Board meeting night.
Okay.
Leaving. It was a late night, and I think you and Dan and I were the last.
You're kidding me.
Were the last ones here, and Miles was going to be working late, and we walked out. It was dark. It was warm. It must have been in the summer, because when we walked out, there was a huge toad right on the sidewalk in front of me.
I wish somebody could see me right now, because I'm not smiling. I'm not laughing. You're laughing and smiling. Was it a toad? That's gross.
It was just serendipity. I reached down, I picked up the toad, walked back in, and I told Miles.
For the record, I am working diligently in my office at like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
And I told him to close his eyes and put his hands out, because he thought I'd went and got him a gift from the car.
Look how you're laughing evilly. Look at you. You're evil. Like, oh, he was so innocent.
I put the toad in his hand, and it was on the camera.
And it was gross.
And it was fantastic.
And then it took me like 5 minutes to get that toad outside, because I didn't want to touch it. I was using like...
Oh, I love it. No, my favorite memory is not only that one, but it's just pranking people.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, what's your best prank so far? What's your favorite prank so far besides that one? That wasn't a major prank. You've got me on a couple pranks.
Well, I got Gary Mattingly a few times, our activities director.
What'd you do? Give me your favorite one.
Well, I hung a ghost in his office, and he's scared of ghosts.
Okay.
I sent a few cards out to people that were prank cards. I don't want to go into that too much.
What about here at the office with one Jan Zellner?
Yes, Jan Zellner I got in the morning. It was dark.
Our superintendent secretary.
Yes, I love Jan. Love her.
Yeah, I can tell. Here comes the story, though.
She gets here before the sun comes up in the morning, and I had a 6-foot tall Grim Reaper waiting for her.
Look at... If only people could see how evil she looks at this laugh right now.
I think that's a good way to end it.
I think it's a perfect way to wrap up this episode of the Lion Pridecast with your evil laugh. As always, for more updates and stories on Lansing USD469, you can visit us at www.usd469.net.
And if you don't already have it, download the free Lansing USD469 mobile app on Apple and Android, and that app allows you to be the first to know about all the fantastic things that are happening in our district. And I would say snow days, but I don't think it's going to happen.
It was nice today.
One snow day this whole school year.
Unless we have one.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think we're going to get one. I mean, we could, but it was nice today.
You never know, yeah.
If you would like our content, want to stay up to date on the latest episodes, please follow us wherever you are listening to us and leave a review to help others find us and learn more about our great district.
Yes, we are available on the following streaming platforms. We have Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Castbox. Okay, now I'm just going to be done. No, Castbox. Go ahead.
And?
We have...
Oh, you want me to make fun of Castbox?
You can make... Yeah.
I'm a proud stockholder now, so okay, Castbox,
good,
actually, can you move it to the top?
We have Anchor. We have Stitcher.
We're all over the place. Oh, Stitcher, yeah.
Yes. Yes. So
and
there's a few more.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to be a guest on our podcast, please send us an email at sharon.burns@usd469.net.
All right. That is a wrap on number 15.
Can you say 15 like that again?
15. Yeah. Woo.
Thank you for listening, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.